All right. So it's probably been a couple weeks since the expedition crew has gotten out of the Ebon Expanse. I would do the stardate math, but I don't feel up to that today, so we'll figure it out later. But for narrative purposes, that sounds fine now. The expedition stopped off at Deep Space 17, picked up a passenger. Uh, sure. Picked up a passenger and is currently en route to Risa. It's probably, a few hours after main shift when a few of the senior staff and the passenger are meeting in the mess hall. And I'll open up the floor to free role play. You could talk about events. You could talk about your characters, what they're doing that night, what their plans on Risa are, fallout from the mission, whatever.
It's good to see you again, Lieutenant. What brings you aboard?
Oh, thank you. I've been just hitching a ride back to Trill. Captain Prax said you were headed that way and offered me a ride. Had some leave coming. Yeah, haven't seen y'all since you headed out to the Ebon Expanse. How'd that go?
Well, it went quite well, I would say. We can't speak to the details of the mission, but for now the issue is resolved. It doesn't seem that the anomalies will be as troublesome as they have been.
That's good. Can you tell me what was causing? I mean, what was so bad that it caused a planet to fall apart? That was unfortunate.
You'll have to wait for official reports on that. You know how it is.
That's true. Well, can you at least tell me about a little bit what it was like in there?
Very difficult flying.
Well, I can imagine it was difficult enough out here dodging anomalies. In there, it must have been insane. You had an opportunity to show off then, right?
To what? Sorry?
I gave you an opportunity to show off the skills, yeah?
Oh. I mean, some might say so.
Well, it was either that or it was just another Tuesday for you.
I prefer to think of it as not so much showing off as showcasing my competence.
Sure. Well, it'd be nice. I hear some of you guys are headed to Risa.
We are certainly much needed leave. I think we're really looking forward to it.
Well, I imagine it's good to spend some time in the familiar if you spend so many weeks in the unknown.
Got any plans, Commander?
Was that to Casey? He's the commander.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're the only commander of the folks present right now.
Yep, sorry. What was the question? I'm definitely. I have like 6 tabs open trying to write this paper.
Got any plans for when we get to Risa?
Nothing too specific, just a relaxing day with a barbecue, I hope.
Wait a minute, barbecue. That's the thing where you put the cow over the open fire, right?
Perhaps in a more primitive form, but at its most basic elements, it's food cooked over open flame.
Well, that's got to be a change from replicated food, at least. I would think a pleasant change from replicated food.
I certainly hope so.
There is no beating the real thing. Do they have food like that on Trill, Lieutenant?
Not like your barbecue you described, but got some fairly lush gardens and wide variety of different types of vegetables. What is it? I think they call it on Earth salad.
Yeah, salad's quite popular for human cuisine, even offers.
And then we got these small bird-like. I guess they're bird-like. Like is not the right word, but they're kind of like birds, but only got 4 wings. Okay, dip them in a spicy sauce. They're fantastic. Of course, to make them big enough to be worth eating, I got to pump them full of hormones and stuff like that. I try not to pay too much attention to what to pump in the food. That way, I can enjoy it. I imagine fresh food is just what you need after a couple of weeks of nothing but replicated food. Yeah.
All weeks I've gone certainly months without any fresh food, but you get used to it.
No hydroponics bay on the expedition. If that's the case, you guys really need to spend some more time on DSP 17. Huge garden. We get fresh food.
Oh, no, we do. The commander must be referring to a previous ship.
Well, I certainly can say that the weather in combination with cooking food outside and everything else, it's well, it can't be beat. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've actually never been to Risa before.
That's quite lovely for planet where all the weather's artificial.
Mm.
Kind of takes the fun out of it when you always know it's going to be 75 and sunny, no clouds, no rain. Because it's good for the tanning. Humans still do that, right? Tan?
I would say maybe a bit when we get the chance. Unfortunately, our skin can be prone to certain illnesses if we get too much of it, or a certain type of light on certain planets.
Also, the ultraviolet radiation can burn us. It's quite uncomfortable, especially if you're how shall we say, pasty, like I am.
Ah, reminds me of survival training in Australia when I was in the academy. Got a little lost in the Australian outback. Oof. That was an uncomfortable feeling.
Do Trill get sunburn too?
We do. I learned that the hard way. Getting lost in the Australian outback is usually a bad idea.
Well, yeah, there's not a lot of water there, I'm told.
I was always a little grumpy about it. I was still in Starfleet Medical then. Why do I need to go to survival training? What am I going to do? Provide counseling for the snakes? See myself leaned over a snake going, and how do you feel about not being liked by anybody? Group therapy for poisonous snakes and spiders and plants. And there's a lot of things in Australian outback that are poisonous.
Yeah, yeah, they're it's one of the most hazardous biomes on Earth, I'm told, as far as the wildlife is concerned.
Yeah, certainly not my favorite place on Earth, though. I hear that sport where you stand on a board in the water is really good there. What do you call that one?
Surfing.
Uh,
Have you ever done it?
I have it. It looks interesting. To stand on the board, and I guess you try to avoid drowning. Is that the contest?
You try to avoid falling into the water.
And that's because of the sharks, right?
No, it's because the longer you stay up and the more difficult of a wave you can get, the more fun it is. Although sharks are also a concern, yes.
Lieutenant, it's very common for uh, humans who fall into the water to be eaten by sharks. It's one of the most dangerous sports on Earth.
Ah. So is it more or less dangerous than walking into a Klingon bar, yelling "You're all Pataks" and running?
um, well, surfers generally aren't suicidal, and I'm pretty sure that would be suicidal.
No. It's not suicidal. You just have to make sure that the corridors you run through are too narrow for the Klingons to chase you. Or you're really good friends with the transporter chief.
How fast are Klingons, by the way?
M- Much like large reptiles, faster than they look. You'd think they would be slow, they're so big, but
Yeah,
they run faster than you think. But they do hit as hard as you think they would.
have a bit of experience with that.
But yeah, it's all for the adventure. Get the heart beating, know that you're alive. And that's what Starfleet's all about, right? Going to strange new places and meeting strange new people. exploring strange new environments. I can't wait till the official briefings come out and get to find out what you guys went through. That had to have been fantastic. Maybe not quite as exciting as baiting Klingons, but still close. Maybe. All right, I'm going to assume less exciting than Klingon baiting. Probably more exciting. Probably more exciting than Ferengi baiting.
So, what's your plans on Trill?
Oh, I've got meeting some friends from the home world. Spend some time with the commission. Got to report back every once in a while since my joining wasn't exactly planned.
I'm told it's uncommon for that to happen.
Well, it was. It was during the Dominion War. Quinix's prior host was one of the ships that was heavily damaged, and I was the only trill around for them to transfer the host to take over as Quinix's host. And once we're joined, fatal to us to separate us from our symbiote. So poor Quinix is stuck with me, or I'm stuck with him. Them.
Well, I have heard that it's a high honor among Trill.
It most definitely is. I mean, there's not enough there. I mean, in a perfect universe, there'd be enough symbiotes for everyone that wanted one on the home world, but it just isn't. And a lot of it, it's a lot of testing, a lot of learning, and a lot of knowledge, a lot of tests before you get selected. Apparently, skinny dipping with your girlfriend uh, in the pools where the unjoined symbiotes live apparently will get you kicked out of the training.
This sounds like quite the story.
Is that how you got kicked out of the training?
That is how I got kicked out of the training. Symbiote Commission was certainly not happy. Quite displeased that Quinix ended up with me. Well, I said, nothing I can do about it now.
From what I hear from some of the joint Trill I've heard about, that's not that wild in the grand scheme of things.
Well, there is Dax. I'm kind of tame compared to Dax.
Well, if it's not too unusual among joined Trill, the question is, who's going to ask Captain Prax about her experience? I'm a
Not
bit too
me.
junior for that. He looks at Casey.
Wagner touches her nose.
Ben's not far behind.
I don't think I will.
What was that?
Privileges of ranks to decline such a task.
That sounds like the kind of thing we should pull. We should get a small pool of Latinum together, and then dare one of the junior officers to ask. Might be entertaining all on its own. No takers?
I'm down if you want to start the pool.
Yeah, I think I got a couple of latinum in my bag, a couple strips of latinum in my bag. What y'all got? And who's going to be our lucky guinea pig that's going to go ask Captain Prax? Of course,
Well,
probably shouldn't tell him it was my idea. I do need a ride back to DS17. I want to leave this up.
definitely not. Got a few slips back in my quarters, but heard things about this Rockefeller guy down in engineering. Yeah, maybe we can get him to ask.
It's your crew. You know him better than I do. That sounds like fun. Everyone else in?
If he knows what he's getting into, sure, I'll do it. Like, not ask the question because I'm not stupid, but I'll contribute to the pot.
Commander? All right, we can take silence as a yes. I think the commander's in.
Casey said he'd be right back.
Oh, didn't see that.
Casey's distracted this evening because of his paper, so he's here
Yeah,
but not here.
that's why I was trying to see if I could get him to agree, even if he wasn't listening. Being the person technically in charge of personnel.
Where's Krim, damn it? He would do all of this.
All right, so we're gonna pull our strips of latinum, and I think Casey was the one that volunteered to actually go talk to Rockefeller.
What I heard. Well, at that, Bedden will stand up and go and get a few latinum strips from his quarters, and then come back.
Same here. Garibaldi will put his latinum in the pot.
Yeah, Wagner will go grab a couple as well.
There's a kitty.
Well, not knowing when Casey's going to get back. Bedden will tap his comm badge.
Oh.
Never mind.
What's going on?
Casey, you can put a few gold pressed latinum pieces slips in the pot, if you'd like.
I suppose I could be convinced.
Okay, excellent. What is Rockefeller's rank? Crewman. Lieutenant Bedden to Crewman Rockefeller.
Go ahead, sir.
Crewman, are you free currently?
I suppose I could be free, sir.
Excellent. Is this the conference room or mess? Where are we at?
Mess hall.
Mess hall. Crewman, I'm going to need you to come down to the mess right away.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Coming now, sir. And a few minutes later, the doors to the mess hall open up, and Rockefeller runs in, runs right up to the table, nearly, well, I'll say he does knock it over. Sir, you wish to see me, sir?
Crewman, thank you for coming so quickly. Please sit down.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And we'll look around the table. Now, what we're going to talk about is quite confidential. Do you understand, Crewman?
He'll nod his head up and down. Yes, sir.
We were speaking with Lieutenant Quinix here, no motion to Quinix, about a very sensitive matter. No motion to Quinix. Lieutenants, would you like to fill the crewman in here about, I guess, tradition that you have on Trill?
Right. So, crewman,
Yes.
we're talking about how I obtained my symbiote. Some of the hijinks I got up to in the symbiote commission. And what we need to find out is to compare my experiences to that of your captains. Think of it as a test of your communication skills, crewman. To see if you can get Captain Prax to talk about her experiences in the commission and how she ended up with the Prax symbiote. Think you could do that for us, crewman?
As the crewman looks a little dazed and confused, Commander Krim will walk in. And Krim, you'll see your crewman kind of perturbed, sitting with the rest of the senior staff.
Something the matter, crewman?
Not at all, sir.
You seem a little bit nervous.
The lieutenants, they want me to ask Captain Prax about her symbiote.
And I'll turn and give a questioning eyebrow to the lieutenant.
So, It's a test of the crewman's communication skills and his ability to obtain information through conversation. Certain branches of Starfleet highly value those sort of skills, and Crewman Rockefeller here has been identified as potentially being able to do more than what he does now.
That does sound
And you're
interesting to you. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
and you're asking him to obtain what could be considered personal information from the captain?
That's the test, yes.
Don't you think that's taking it just a little bit too far, Lieutenant?
I don't know. I mean, really, Captain Prax's story can't be anywhere near as interesting as mine.
Probably. And yet, from what I understand, at least, because I don't even have all the information, but a symbiote joining is highly personal. If I was to ask you, Lieutenant, a highly personal question, such as to the fact of if you have such training,
Well, I didn't actually finish the training.
but you're still able to gain personal information from people, correct?
Well, I have a little training in psychology.
Well, why not see if crewman Rockefeller here could possibly try and get personal information from, say, oh, I don't know, me. I mean, it would be less obvious than going to the captain for personal information, correct?
Right, but you already know what's going on. So you would be on your guard. It would be a fair test of the crewman's skills.
True. But yet, the only people I know that would want to get personal information from that are from Starfleet intelligence.
Well, that's a good thing there aren't any Starfleet intelligence people around.
So you would make us think. See, from the questions that you're asking the crewmen to ask the captain, I have been able to deduce that either A, you are either on track to be in Starfleet intelligence, were once in Starfleet intelligence, or currently are in Starfleet intelligence.
What if I told you two of those three things are true?
This
Then I
prank
would.
has become altogether too elaborate.
It is.
Well, I
Still,
should
I'm
let you
able to.
carry on. I think I'm going to retire to my quarters and try and get a head start on my admin before I take leave. A good day to you all.
Have a good night, Commander.
Good night, sir. Ben will motion towards the pot of latinum. So what do we do with this?
Well, we're going to give it to Crewman Rockefeller if he was successful, but if he don't want to do it, we can't force him to do it. But
Carrots?
it's not like he might have any use for this much latinum on Risa.
Oh, that is true, Quinix. And he'll look at the crewman. This much latinum could go a long way on Risa.
That's well. That leaves the point. What do we do? What do we do with this? What do we do with this Latin? If Truman Rockefeller doesn't want to participate in our little experiment, I'm looking forward to a good story. I mean, this ship has apparently has a lot of good stories. Was hoping to hear that one. What do you
Well,
think, Truman? You interested in that Latinum? Now the test is all you gotta do is ask the question. You get back here. Whether it would be nice if Prax answered. You got to get some information out of Captain Prax, but you got to ask the question. Get back here without telling Captain Prax who put you up to it. I mean, that was the original. That was the original bet, right? Just to get somebody to ask her.
Well, that sounds about right. But I mean, you always want to see a mission be successful. So I don't know. Half of this sounds about right for the question. The other half for the answer.
Because it can be quite personal. The captain might not want to tell him. But I think it takes a brave Starfleet crewman to ask a question, to overcome nerves and anxiety, and boldly go. But you got to go and ask the question and come back without Captain Prax ever knowing who put you up to it, crewman. You in?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brave man. I'm gonna have to talk to some of my bosses about you. I mean, depending on which of those which of those two statements Commander Krim said are true.
Fedden will put his hand on the crewman's shoulder and just say, "Crewman, you probably won't regret this."
Should I go now, sir?
Yeah, have at it. No time like the present. Don't wake up the captain's daughter. That would be bad.
Oh, right. Yeah, yes, sir.
I'll walk over to Garibaldi and be like, I'm beginning to believe the first two I mentioned are the correct ones.
What were the first two again?
That you are on track to be in Starfleet Intelligence and are currently in Starfleet Intelligence.
Now, those two things are mutually exclusive.
And yet,
I can't be both.
yeah,
Well, and Trill, it is possible for me to be both from a certain
correct.
point of view.
It is possible for you to be both, and yet it is not possible for you to be out of Starfleet Intelligence and yet in.
That's not what my personnel file says.
True, but anybody in Starfleet Intelligence would also have that they're not in Starfleet Intelligence in their personnel file.
I tell you what,
Boldface like to protect operatives.
only the covert ones. I tell you what, if the kid is successful, I'll tell you which two are true.
I'm willing to bet the captain deduces who put him up to it without him saying a word.
That's possible. Captain Prax does know me.
I get the impression that the captain's scary when she's angry. My money's on that she gets it out of him.
What's the over-under on Rockefeller peeing himself?
75-25.
Yeah. I wish I had some more latinum.
Ben will pull out a slip. I'll make that bet. Grim, you in?
Mm, I think I'll stay out of the last one, but I'll take that Captain Prax figures it out.
Turn left onto the ramp to Memphis.
Well, if she does, it'll be a long walk back to DS-17 for one of us. I wonder if Commander Reef will approve an extension of my leave because I couldn't find a ride back. Maybe. You ought to be in a good mood. I think we put an end to the piracy around our station for a while. Maybe. I think at this point we're just kind of making small talk to see it, and while waiting for Rockefeller to see how that goes.
Yep, I'm gonna switch over once I get something from Prax. Somebody is going to have to play Rockefeller, however. So whoever wants to play him.
Well, if we were playing in real life, I'd suggest rock, paper, scissors, laser, Spock.
Only if you could tell us what beats what.
Oh, see if I can remember. Of course, all the standard ones. Let's see. I know paper disproves Spock. Lizard poisons Spock. No, lizard poisons Spock. Spock disproves paper. And of course, as it always is, paper covers rock. That's as far as I remember.
All right, so serious question time. Who is volunteering to play Rockefeller? So I don't remember who normally plays him. See that? I mean, that could happen. If no one wants to volunteer, you could roll for it. Let the dice decide.
That seems
Sure, let the Vice Volun tell us.
What do you guys? I'll let you guys choose the dice. You want a D20 or a D6?
I feel like we roll a lot of D20. Let's go D6.
All right, everyone roll a D6. Lowest number gets the job.
Uh-oh.
Just need Crim.
There's no D20 dice roll or D6 dice roller in Discord.
There is.
Oh, there's.
It's exclamation mark roll rather than slash roll.
There it is. It's a 4.
Aha. 3 4s. What are the odds? Looks like Garibaldi wins.
I win. Woohoo!
So just a little quick reference on this character. He's very clumsy and accident prone and very nervous around senior staff, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of that.
That sounds about right.
I don't know how I got that impression of that last one.
So yeah, we'll cut to Captain Prax is in the aeroponics bay tending to her plants when the cargo bay doors open with Rockefeller walking in.
Rockefeller looks around for Captain Prax, sees her, moves in her direction, trips over a potted plant, and face plants right at her feet.
And Captain, you just hear this loud, you hear this pot break behind you, and then you turn around just in time to see Rockefeller thud right at your feet.
Crewman, are you all right? Do I need to call for medical assistance?
No, ma'am. I just gets up and attempts to take rub, potty soil off his uniform, and all he really does is manage to get it pressed further into his uniform. I'm fine, Captain Prax. Hi, sir, ma'am, Captain.
Can I help you with something, crewman?
Um, yes, ma'am, Captain, sir.
Ma'am is fine. Go on.
Yes, ma'am. So, so I was reading I was reading a manual because we're headed for Trill, right?
We're just stopping by.
Right, and I was I was I was reading about this. I like to um is that weird? I read about the places we go. That's okay, right? This dirt won't come off.
Educating yourself is perfectly all right, crewman.
Yes, ma'am. So I was wondering because you're you're the only Trill I know, Captain, and I was wondering if I could ask some
That's
questions.
well, it's not entirely true. There are other crew members, but I'm sure I could be happy to answer any questions you might have.
So what about how do they, because some Trill have like a whatchamacallit in them. Is that right? I read about that, ma'am.
A
Captain.
symbiote.
What's that like? The book I was reading wasn't clear.
Well, it's a very private matter.
I mean, I mean, they're like really old, right? I mean, I'm not saying you're old, ma'am, but the symbiote's not you, really old, right?
Some varying various stages of age. I like to think I'm quite young, crewman.
But yes, ma'am. You look quite young and young. Um, but I mean, do you swallow it?
A lot of questions about symbiote, crewman.
I was really curious.
What?
And there's not a lot in the books, ma'am, and
There's a reason for that. You're not a trained medical personnel. If you wish to learn more about it, I'm sure Dr. McKenzie could inform you on some of the medical procedures. It's like, best way I could describe it is an organ transplant.
like getting a new kidney.
Yes, something along those lines.
Like a really big. Is that root? That's not root, is it? I mean, how do you get picked to get? Does everyone do all trills get them?
No, Kerman, they do not.
So it must have been pretty special that you got. You're. I mean, you're a Starfleet captain. Of course, you're special. But how did you get selected to be uh to get a symbiote, ma'am, captain?
Kerman, this is an awful lot of questions for you to be asking, and
Is it too much?
no, it's fine.
sorry.
It's just this is a little out of the blue for you.
It was quite a surprise, yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by it's a surprise?
Well, I just surprised that I would be interested in it because it doesn't have anything to do with like engineering or mechanical stuff. I mean, it's kind of like mechanical stuff because doctoring is like engineering, but with people. It's kind of like engineering. So maybe that's where I got curious about it. I don't really know how I got curious about it. I should go now. And he's gonna try to nervously step away and.
I want to do an insight check with that. I really do. See if something's wrong here.
Okay, insight the command. This will probably be opposed. What would be opposed? Presence command, maybe? Control command?
Either or. Probably more like presence because he's trying to, cover himself and what he's doing. So.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds fine. Presence command.
All right, presence. That's not terrible. I'm so shocked he doesn't have a focus for this.
I'll give you a threat, GM. I'm gonna re-roll that to 0. Actually, there should not be a. That's only 3 6s. I actually had the focus selected. I don't have a focus for this, so unless you take empathy or composure.
Can I? No, I'm not going to spend time. I'm going to see if I can get it. I did not. I should go, ma'am. And then
Crewman, no. Let's come here. I'm here.
Kind of hangdog look. Sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to be. Those are personal questions. I'm sorry.
It's not that personal, crewman. But let's go for a walk. I'll tell you all about Trill.
A walk? Okay.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. But
I'm a little parched. I think I'm gonna head to the mess hall and get something to drink.
The mess hall, ma'am. I've already eaten, and I
Have you?
had yes, ma'am. I had a lot of water earlier, and I hear drinking too much water is bad for you. Maybe I should go. I hear an APS conduit calling my name.
Is that so, Lieutenant or crewman?
Yes, ma'am.
The
Maybe.
engineering's that way, crewman. Or
Oh, right. But yes, ma'am. Can I go, Captain?
you're off duty, and this is a private conversation.
Oh, yes,
I'm
yeah,
not.
that's right. Yes. I am off duty. That's right. No one asked me to come. That's right. I'm off duty. Okay. Thank you, Captain. Thanks for your patience. I'm gonna go now.
Oh, crew member, you need to clean this pot up when you get a chance.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, I need a clean uniform. Does
You
the
should
dirt always stay in like that?
you should probably clean the pot up first before you put on a fresh uniform.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll do that right. I'll do that right now, ma'am. Enjoy your dinner, ma'am. Oh my. He will. He will attempt to clean up the mess he made. The first one.
Prax is heading to the mess hall.
All right, sorry, I gotta write a report for soccer today because had a coach ejection, so I'm trying to get that while doing this. So we'll go to the mess hall. With I think all these people are out of there. Krim, are you still in the mess hall?
Yeah, I'm still in the mess hall making small talk, waiting for Rockefeller or the captain to walk in.
All right, you guys probably wait about 20, 30 minutes when the captain barges in, walking with a purpose.
Oh no, nonchalant. She walks
Oh,
up.
nonchalant. Okay.
Yeah. Orders water. 17 centigrade. Zzz. Oh. How's your evenings?
Oh, excellent, Captain. It's been a while since I've seen your crew. Just getting caught up.
We were actually talking a little bit about what we were hoping to do on Risa.
Is the latinum like visible on the table?
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
So what's the bet?
Oh, Commander Kim made 3 propositions about my current career. I told him that 2 of his guesses were right and one of them was wrong. He's still thinking about which one is the wrong one. And if he can figure it out, he gets to hold the latinum.
I see. Well, good luck to you, Commander Krim. Oh, don't stop on my account.
Captain, will you be joining us on Risa, or?
No, in fact, I'm going to Trill, where I'm going to visit my parents. If you wish to know.
Quite fortunate for me, since it allowed me to hitch a ride.
Indeed, it did.
It's always good to catch up with family.
It is, especially since I haven't really seen them since before the Dominion War. But I believe that's when you were joined. Isn't that right? Quinix.
That is. Yeah. It was quite an interesting tale for somebody.
That somebody wouldn't happen to be Crewman Rockefeller, would it?
Who?
Crewman Rockefeller is in the engineering department on our vessel, Lieutenant.
Oh.
He's
I'll spend a lot of time in engineering.
he's a bit squirrely, to be honest, but mostly competent.
Well, as long as he's a good engineer, that's what's important.
Okay, Garibaldi and just raise his eyebrow.
GPS signal.
Oh. Engineers tend to be a little funny. I can tell you one time about one we had on the Tenchi that was a reclaimed board. That was interesting.
I think I win, Mr. Garibaldi.
What have you figured out? Which one of your 3 propositions is true or false?
No, the other one.
Yeah, I think so. Still curious about that secondary wager, though.
Agreed.
I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow.
I'm sure it can wait till tomorrow.
I don't know. Mr. Crewman Rockefeller seemed very interested in Trill and the joining process. I thought it might be educational for him since he's so interested in it. He'd take a short leave on Trill. Perhaps you can show him around, Lieutenant Quinix.
Well, it's possible, but I have a feeling I'm going to be busy. on the homeworld.
That's probably fair. I guess you'll just have to wait until next time.
But if him and I are on Trill, if I'm still in Starfleet the next time he makes a Trill, I'll be sure to show him around.
Well, perhaps another time. Though I'm sure his duties in engineering will probably keep him busy. He seems to like be tinkering with various components.
Oh, as long as he's good at it. Sometimes those folks are a lot more comfortable talking to machines than they are people. I appreciate the ride, though, Kat. I don't know if I've told you. I appreciate the ride back home.
It's my pleasure, Lieutenant. But if you don't mind, I am going to catch it early.
Yes, ma'am. It was good seeing you.
Likewise, and good luck whoever wins the bet.
That went better than I thought it would.
That's certainly close.
Looks like I lose the second wager.
Oh no. Which computer do we have to hack into to see if he had to replicate a new uniform?
Let me just use my engineers to go to check. Because it should be in the engineering computer. I'd be able to tell Ed
What are you looking for?
just to see if Rockefeller had to replicate a new uniform.
Let's see. I'm just gonna say no.
Oh, good. That roll didn't count. Didn't count for the poor guy.
Sorry, I'm pulling a Casey right now. I'm double dutying it.
Oh, I understand. Well, it's possible he might have had a spare in his bunk.
That's true. I suppose we could hack into his personal logs tomorrow.
Quinix, you were just a fountain of great ideas.
All in the name of good fun.
Probably just give him the benefit of the doubt.
That sounds fair. Considering his personality, I think we already put him through the ringer.
And I do believe I win the original because the captain was definitely trying to stick him with you on Trill. Not me.
I'll concede that. She certainly had some inkling that we were up to something. But for the little while that I've known her, Captain Prax does seem quite intuitive. So, how are you guys liking the new ship? It's not too soon to ask that, is it?
Certainly not for my departments. It's well, to be honest, it's the fastest thing I think I've ever had experience with. I mean, it's almost like the ship reacts before I can even tell it what to do. It's amazing.
Yeah, that would be the neurogel circuitry, or the whatever it's called, out of character. It's the gel circuitry that is amplifying the signal.
Oh, so you've got the same circuitry they had they experimented with on what's that ship that got lost in the Delta Quadrant? The Journey or something?
The Voyager.
That's right. That's the one. Had any opportunity to see if this thing can take a pounding yet?
Uh, couple, but haven't really gone up against anything that's been, well, I would say existential.
It's been more environmental hazards than combat.
I imagine you'll run into a share of those. That's better than having 4 Vorcha-class Klingon cruisers uh, pointing disruptor banks at you.
Just speaking from personal experience.
Oh, we had a little run in with the Klingons right before I came aboard. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks now. We had front row seats to a couple of Klingon houses duking it out right outside DS-17. That's all in my logs, or all in the captain commander's logs anyway. Tell you
Wow.
what, them old space stations, even the old space stations like DS-17, can take a pounding.
I'd certainly be very interested in that. I might have to look that up.
Hmm.
Wagner, would you say this ship is pretty speedy compared to maybe some prior ones you've been on?
Huh. I'd say it's a uh, it's got a very nice warp drive to it.
Yeah, what's your top speed?
I think we've hit warp 9.997.
Oof.
Yeah, and I was worried she was gonna shake herself apart.
Yeah, and that was right out of docks too. Captain wanted to get the cobwebs out, I guess.
No, you mean you haven't had a chance to super up yet? Is that what you're saying?
The 9.997 is after souping her up. Beforehand, I think the most we were able to hit was 9.985.
I think you're right.
All right, story time. What's the hairiest thing you put this ship through since you've had it?
Right? That one would be classified, wouldn't it? I mean, the hairiest thing is always the next thing you're going to do. But nothing can be hairier than the last one we did.
Yeah, I'd agree. And for that one, you'd have to wait for the official report.
Maybe.
That is,
Depends on whether or not Commander Krim is right about my current posting.
well, even if I'm correct, you still, I don't think you would still have access to it.
I guess we'll never know.
I think in order to get access to it, you would have to be a member of the Admiralty.
Or have access to their comm codes. I mean, I wouldn't know how to get a total something like that. I'm just spitballing. Certainly not something to try at home or away from home. It's bad for one's Starfleet career, probably.
Especially if you're on somebody else's ship, eh?
Definitely if you're on someone else's ship. I really don't want to have to walk back to DS-17. I don't think I can hold my breath that long.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
All right, folks. I think I got a long day ahead of me. I mean, we should be getting into Trill fairly soon. So I think I'm gonna get some shut eye before I get home. It's been good catching up with you folks. Then have fun on Risa.
See you later.
Good seeing you too, Quinix. Have a good trip.
Thank you. Garibaldi's gonna go to his guest quarters.
Alrighty.
Slightly sad that he lost that Latin.
Well, you know what happens when you bet. The
Yeah.
house always wins.
I can always steal more.
All right. So we arrive at Risa. Or sorry, not Risa. Trill to drop off the captain and Garibaldi. I'll have you guys take a shuttle down just to facilitate a little role play with you two on the way to Trill. So there's no momentum to be had here, probably. So we'll go ahead and new scene it up and have you both of you in the shuttle heading down.
So Azrael, what do you know about? We can talk about that later. And everybody would turn around to Prax's daughter. You excited to meet your grandparents?
Oh, right, the kids were here. I don't know if the other kids here.
Just
We didn't bring
Kesri.
Kagu.
All right, we found adoptive parents for them. Never mind. She'll just nod. You know, a little shy.
She's shy and nervous, so
Yeah, you'd think after a few, you'd think after a few weeks staying with me, she'd be a little more comfortable. But that's okay. It's a big deal meeting the grandparents. It's kind of like meeting the parents. That's a different thing. When do you want us to start working on our joint project, Captain?
I have already made an appointment to the clinic. Hopefully, that will give you a way in.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of security they've got on their computer system. I think the first clue, the first indication that you're on the right track will be how hard it is for me to break into their computers.
It's supposed to be top notch, but considering how some of my genetic material went missing, it's a big problem.
Yeah, not just problematic, but highly illegal. So at least one of the results is a blessing.
Yes, but I'm worried about the other stuff that could potentially be happening in the background. I got lucky. Kesri got lucky. And I would say Kiju did, but there are probably several others out there that are not so lucky.
Well, that's why this is worth the trip. Well, you know me, Israel. I don't like slavers.
Neither do I. Though the hard part's going to be telling my parents.
You think it's a good idea to tell them?
That I've. Which lie would you prefer? Tell them the truth, or do I tell them that I've hid a daughter from them for 6 years?
Can't just tell her that she's adopted?
Well, there's always option 3, but they're going to ask questions when they find out that she's technically, biology-wise, my daughter.
I don't know. I don't know from direct personal experience about those things, but I seem to remember being a mother at one point. Grandparents forgive a lot amidst the joy of having a grandchild.
They do indeed, but it's still never easy.
If you have a good relationship with your parents, it'll be all right. It'll be a shock, but not only do I remember being a mother, I remember being a grandfather too. There's something special about having a grandchild. Maybe being honest and upfront with your parents is the best idea. I mean, we're in Starfleet. It's not like it's the weirdest, most unusual story that's out there.
Fair enough. And what about you? Are you catching up with family?
My family's most of my family has moved on. I do need to make a stop in with the Symbiote Commission. Every once in a while, I like to see me because of the irregularity of my joining. In fact, I never actually finished the training.
Just so you're aware, they like to catch up on me as well. It's not just not finishing the training.
Well, that is good to know. Though I imagine they like you a lot more than they like me.
Eh,
Yeah. They're a little grumpy about using the symbiote pools as a hot tub.
that was you.
That was me.
They were kind of upset about that, but I'll tell you right now, some of them get a pretty good kick out of it.
Now that doesn't surprise me. That's also like being a parent. Sometimes your child does something that you gotta punish them for. But when they're not looking, you have a good laugh over it. But the truth is, if the Yellowstone hadn't been in the battle over Earth, I would have never got been joined. Right place, right time.
I came very close from washing out of the initiate program.
Yeah, you don't strike me as the type to get thrown out for, well,
It took me 3 years just to go through the program. In fact, that selection usually happens a tiny bit faster. I clawed my way through and hang on as long as I could until I made someone laugh. And then I was selected. I knew that all would take, then I would have done it a lot sooner.
well, it's always possible that that's what the universe wanted you to be joined with Prax. If you hadn't gone, if you if it hadn't taken you so long to get through the program, maybe you've been Azrael. You could have been really unlucky and been Azrael Quinix.
Or just plain Azrael Talinar. In that case, I think we're coming up to the first buoy. Open, or if you want to go ahead and signal Trill Space Command.
No, fine. Yeah. Garibaldi will activate communications panel. Trill Spaceport Control. This is the Starfleet shuttle. Oh, we've been cleared for approach, Captain. Docking Bay 93.
Israel will tap on our console and guide the shuttlecraft in.
All right. Meanwhile, in other parts of the galaxy, the USX Expedition arrives at Risa, and the senior staff beam down into one of Risa's many fabulous resorts. And of course, this being Risa, it's one of their tropical resorts, probably centrally located on the planet. This takes after like one of the Caribbean style um, beach cabana that you might find in the Caribbean.
Well, what's the first stop, everyone?
Well, I intend to find my cottage and get the grill fired up.
Graham's gonna grab his luggage, and wherever he's staying, he's gonna head there. And basically, I mean, he's got a bag full of his luggage, and then what looks to be like a modern day computer side.
I think I'll go unpack, and then the conversation with Lieutenant Quinix earlier made me think I want to try surfing again. So probably I'll do that after.
All right. Well, I will be on the beach with a drink if you need to find me.
Is that pretty much what everyone's doing?
Right?
Yep.
Just want to make sure I know what everybody's doing. All right, so you all find your rooms. You're all able to unpack. Wagner grabs a surfboard, heads out to the beach. Bedden finds a nice spot to overlook the beach with many tropical flavored drinks around him. Casey found a nice barbecue pit on the beach. And Krim, are you holed up in your room tinkering the computers, or did you bring them out?
Right now, he probably has like three or four different pads out on his porch, looking through the information. But probably inside there's like 6 or 7 more pads of information.
Sorry, you roboted on me really bad.
So he probably has like 3 or 4 pads out there with him on his porch, but he's got like 6 or 7 more inside on his desk.
Okay. All right, so yeah, you're doing that. So Casey, we'll start with the surfer. So with this being a weather controlled planet, obviously they can make weather happen whenever they want. And so, you requested to go surfing, so they picked up some of the wind to try to create some waves for you. And, they probably made, maybe some 5, 6, 7 footers for you, nothing too dangerous. Go ahead and give me daring or control con. And I'll base difficulty on what kind of waves you want to hit. Wagner, you still there?
Sorry, I missed the question.
So I'll give you a roll. The difficulty would be based on what kind of waves you want to hit. If you want to try to hit the smaller ones, that'll be an easier difficulty. And then obviously the larger, more crazy ones will be a higher difficulty.
Wigner's not an expert surfer, so she'll probably try the moderate ones when she should really be on the small ones.
Okay. All right, so we'll go daring with con. We'll make this a difficulty 3. And we'll go ahead and make this a complication range 2. Since you're trying to punch above your weight class.
Sure. Sure, take a threat. I'll use bold con on this. Why not? I don't think I've got any focuses that apply though. Oh, okay, cool. I won't reroll any of them.
So you head out, and you tried some of the bigger waves, and actually you find that it's almost as if surfing's kind of like riding a bike. You've done it in the past when you're younger, and the first couple of waves, you're doing pretty good with.
Cool.
All right. Bedin, are you drinking just to sip, or are we drinking to win while you're on vacation?
So we're not going all out, but we're copping a nice buzz, for sure.
Okay, just give me a fitness. Let's go fitness medicine, probably. Since you're not going all out, we'll just make it a difficulty 2, just to see how bad your buzz is.
Alrighty.
Just kind of give you a nice gauge of where your buzz is at. And yeah, you're probably right around where you would want to be. You're pretty, you got a nice little buzz, but you're not so inebriated that you can't walk straight. Your speech isn't slurred. Just enough to take the edge off.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I was going for.
All right, we'll head to Krim, who's tinkering with the computers. What exactly are you doing with the computers?
basically reviewing the information on the containment portion to see whether or not I can derive how it was made, basically trying to derive the blueprints of it.
Okay. This is, of course, going to be very difficult. Alien tech and all. But I'll give this to you at a difficulty 4.
What's the
Oh, right. Insight or reason with engineering.
I'll probably take reason, which would give me a 16.
Take the I-55.
I don't think I have a focus in this. And going ahead and take all the threat, just for the fun of it.
Well, that's going to make other people not happy later. What the hell is that?
That is 4 successes with a reroll. So give me 1 second. I'm re-rolling one of the failures. And that's another success. So that's 5 successes.
Okay. Gain of momentum. So you're going to be spending hours trying to figure out how the containment works and whatnot. And you probably figure that you have a better understanding of how it works. But you still don't have any ideas how to improve upon it yet. But you think you got the science, the mechanics down, at least.
That was all I was shooting for anyway.
Cool. And then we come back to Casey, who is trying to be the barbecue grill master. So are you just barbecuing for yourself? Are you ultimately going to barbecue for your entire senior staff?
He'll barbecue for whoever shows up. He's just chilling by the beach. Maybe do a little boating, grilling.
All right, cool. Give me a
Hawaiian shirt on.
control. Give me control security. We'll call it a difficulty 2.
Take a threat.
Yeah, gain another momentum. So I believe you are at 2. And yeah, you're not overcooking the food. You're cooking it at about the temperature it needs to be. And I think I did not realize it's 9 o'clock. That's what happens when I just let you guys roleplay and you do it. We'll head back to Trill.
It is dark.
Is it really?
Yeah, if you go, did you take off dynamic lighting?
I would not even know how to do that. Let me see.
The where the pages are at, you click on the settings, the gear symbol, to open up the page settings, and then the next tab over should be the first like.
Aha. How's that?
Much better.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm not sure what trill would sound like.
Probably not
40s?
like that V8.
Yeah, we'll just have a nice forest ambience. Captain, you and Garibaldi land on Trill. I think for sake of time, you've probably been down here for a few bit. You're able to walk away from where you landed, head into the city proper, wherever you guys are staying for your stay. And I'll let you pick up the action there.
I'm assuming the captain would not be able to talk out of staying at a hotel and probably end up staying with their parents.
Yeah, they probably force you into that.
Garibaldi would be in a hotel if they don't have visiting officers' quarters somewhere on the planet.
I'll say that Prax's parents insist that you take the guest room as well. One of their other guest rooms.
Garibaldi, I guess, would be polite.
Just to make things easy. Save a little time here. So yeah, we'll pick it up with you guys sitting around the grandparents' house or practice parents' house, and I'll follow your lead.
If we get a moment where it's just the two of us, then Prax would or Garibaldi would ask Prax, "We're ready to go investigate that clinic." When's our appointment?
Tomorrow morning. We should have. Go ahead.
What's our story going to be? Or are we just going to go in as ourselves?
I'm going in as myself, because I'm going to question them on the whereabouts of my eggs. As for you, what do you have in mind?
I can. Since you're a captain, I can be your assistant / yeoman. If we want to put pressure on him, I can play the part of an attorney. Or I can get lost on the way to the bathroom and see if I can find a computer terminal.
That might be a better approach. Don't know about the attorney part.
That really depends on if how hard you want to press them for information.
Well, as far as I'm aware, I'm meeting with one of the clinic's representatives. Probably a doctor.
Part of their medical staff may be more forthcoming with information. If you bring an attorney, a real one or a fake one, you may end up just talking to their legal staff, who would know nothing and tell you nothing.
could go with the relative part. Concerned cousin.
Right. And then if you can find a reason to maybe take you and whoever you're talking to out of the office and leave me behind, anything that would get me some alone time with one of their computers.
I could ask to inspect where they were holding the samples. Seems appropriate.
It does. That's a good plan. From there, we'll just have to play it by ear.
Well, let's just hope we don't get caught. Because that's something I don't want to face with the commission right now.
Huh. It's not like they can separate us from our from Prax and Quinix. They might want to.
Oh no, they can do far worse.
Well, then let's not get caught. But if it starts to head in that direction, you figure out a way to disavow me.
Let's
If
just
I'm the one breaking into their computer, and we get caught, no reason for both of us to go down.
then try not to get caught.
I have no intention of getting caught. But then I didn't have any intention of getting caught a couple weeks ago. Sometimes things happen.
Yeah, about that, I think I read that report. That's admirable what you did, but very stupid.
Not as stupid as a reef covering for me. I tried. Yeah, it's a little frustrating, to be honest, Azrael, because I did everything I could to make sure he'd have plausible deniability if it went sideways. And he stepped right in front of that phaser blast instead. Metaphorical phaser blast anyway. It's frustrating when the people you try to protect from your own daring do don't stay protected. I don't mind taking risks for myself, but when I take risks, I tend to insist on taking responsibility for my mistakes.
Fair point, but let's try not get caught, because whoever's behind this probably going to have a bigger mystery to solve after this.
I agree. Still, this whole thing just bothers me. I strongly suspect that there are some heavy hitters involved. But we'll figure it out, Prax.
Yes, not to have the awkward conversation at dinner.
All right. Speaking of which, we'll head back to Risa. Where everyone joins in on Casey's barbecue. Wagner having a few good hours of surfing, bedding, little tipsy. Casey enjoying some brews and some brats. And Krim looking pale as the day he was born, having been inside most of the day, tinkering with his computers.
Good of you all to join me.
Well, I certainly won't miss an opportunity for free food.
Smart
either.
man.
Plus, it's at the perfect time. I just finished what I was working on.
And what might that be, Krim?
Probably better to discuss that somewhere where it's not quite so open.
Well, color me curious.
He'll pull a pad out and just say, just a taste, and slide it over.
Ben will pick up the pad. Does he understand anything on this pad?
No.
Uh,
Well, what's your engineering score? Let's start there.
3.
Okay. Maybe half of it.
Probably the best you get is their schematics of some kind.
Yeah.
Ben will try to bullshit his way through. This is certainly very interesting, Krim, especially this part. He'll point to part of the schematic.
Yeah. And at that point, I'm guessing Krim realizes he doesn't understand what he's looking at.
Totally. He probably pointed to like the most useless part of whatever the schematics are.
Okay. And Krim is gonna look at it and go, "Oh, yeah. That's the part that makes this whole thing work."
Oh. Wow. Nice. Ben will buzzedly think well of himself.
And Krim will just pocket the pad.
So, Wagner, I noticed that you took to your surfing pretty well.
Yeah, I haven't done it since I was a kid, but guess it turned out. I was expecting to eat a lot more water than I did.
Well, it looks pretty impressive from my perch on the beach.
Oh, it was fun.
Tell me, Casey, what you used to cook these? I know you did it the old-fashioned way with a grill, but how old-fashioned do you go?
Nothing beats the flavor of charcoal and wood pellets.
Ah. No, I remember when we had to do to cook up one of the natural indigenous life forms to Bajor, they had to go super old-fashioned, just use wood.
Well, hopefully this proves to be more enjoyable. What would you like? And he'll like point to sort of an array of like meat and vegetables in various states of marinating.
Well,
Take exit 2A on the left toward US 51. Right.
how about the porterhouse medium well? I just know.
He'll scoff at the medium well, but say, "As you desire." Pop the steak right on, sizzling on the grill. He'll sort of clack his tongs and look at the other two as well. Anything you two would like?
I'll have one medium rare, sure.
I'll take a couple brats, actually.
And he'll reach into his cooler and pop him right on. As the steak war begins in the chat.
Ever notice that this crew always talks about food and beer at some point during the evening?
We're all a bunch of foodies.
Well, I had sloppy joes and a nice glass of scotch with my game tonight.
Soup and sandwich for me.
Pizza and ice cream for me.
Ooh, very nice.
I'm actually having homemade pizza tomorrow. All right, we'll head back to the other dinner that's happening.
It looks delicious, Mother.
She'll just kind of look up, pause for a few seconds. Thank you.
Still engaging in those expeditions, Father?
Yes, I try to, but being retired, I'm trying to go on a few more trips. So, Ezreal, tell us about how your new command is going.
So far so good. Our last mission was a success, and we made it back safely. The crew is definitely getting very antiquated with each other, and I think things are looking very prosperous for this crew.
And who is this? Is this one of your crew members? Sorry, are you lieutenants?
Garibaldi Quinix. I appreciate your hospitality. I just not actually assigned to the expedition. But they were at the space station I'm assigned to, and Captain Prax was generous enough to offer me a ride home.
Oh, I see, I see.
It's been a while since I've had a home cooked meal here. Sometimes you miss home when you haven't been there in a while. Forget what you leave behind.
So, Mr. Quinix, do you have any family here on Trill that you're dying to see again?
Unfortunately, my family has moved on. We were a small family to begin with. Then
I'm
the menu
sorry to
war.
hear that.
Thank you. But you have a lovely home.
Oh, thank you.
Be interested to hear more about your work.
Oh, it's nothing so fancy as what you guys do, I'm sure. Just some deep sea expeditions here on Trill.
Oh, so Mother finally talked you into staying here on Trill rather than going off into deep space.
Yes, she merely pointed out that I'm getting up in years. Space is a young person's game.
I think there's a few Starfleet officers that would disagree with you on that.
Still, there's meaningful work to be done here. Help out with some of the deep sea explorations. Give a few lectures at the university.
Well, there are plenty of places that we can benefit to the Federation, both at home and abroad.
My thoughts exactly.
You should go where our talents lead us. Oceanography is sounds fast. It's certainly more fascinating than writing memos and arranging my commander's schedule. Captain Prax is an excellent starship captain. We all do what the fates have given us talent for. We serve to the best of our capacity.
And where have the fates placed you, Mr. Quinix?
I mostly handle administrative details for the Commander D Space 17. Nothing really interesting. We can't all be explorers and adventurers. Somebody's got to keep up the paperwork. make sure the trains run on time, as it were.
And that's what you do, keep the trains running on time?
Well, that's a metaphor. I keep my commander's schedule, help him with administrative duties, and free him up to do the important work.
But surely you must have important duties.
What I do is important. Commander Arif is a very busy person. If I didn't keep his schedule straight and his appointments in order, he would not be as an effective a station commander as he is. I make it possible for the command staff that I work for to do their job, much like Captain Prax's staff does for her. There are there are small roles in the universe, there are big roles in the universe, but there are no unimportant roles. I mean, certainly you have folks that work with you that assist you.
Of course, I have some research assistants, some undergraduates that are eager to learn.
Excellent. And what's your most recent study about?
We're looking into one of the fault lines in the Mirvina Ocean. We believe that part used to be above the water at one point and might have housed a civilization at one point. So we are exploring the bottom of the ocean to see if we could find any evidence of such.
That's fascinating. Have you found any ruins or evidence?
In my line of work, finding any signs of advanced civilization or technology under an ocean is a little difficult. You have eons of sediment that ebb and flow with the tides, sands that cover. Even with our advanced sensors and scanning equipment, it's becoming a bit difficult. But the archaeologists are certain of it. Does give us an opportunity to study the aquatic life down there.
I'm surprised Mother's not joining you for that.
He'll look to her and says, "She is rather busy here."
I'm sure being a professor is quite arduous.
Yeah, grading those reports really keeps her up late at night. And having enough of being talked about, your mother just kind of finishes her dinner, grabs her plate, and just leaves the uh, the dining room without so much as saying a word or a glance to anyone.
Um, I hope I haven't caused offense.
It's not you, Quinix. I think I'll go ahead and excuse myself if you don't mind, Father, and I'll clean up the table.
Sure. Mr. Garibaldi, have you ever tried a 2193 Scotch?
I don't think that I don't think that I have, sir.
Well, come, follow me to my study. I think it's about time you did.
Thank you. It sounds well above the pay grade of a simple lieutenant.
Oh, I insist. You're our guest.
Well, thank you, sir.
And your father will guide Garibaldi to the office. What are you doing, Prex?
Cleaning up the kitchen table from dinner and taking it into, or well, yeah, the dining room table and making sure Kesri's all right.
All right. We'll quickly head back to Risa. It's probably late in the evening at this point. You know, the sun's set. Oops, I kept the ocean on for you guys. Oops. The sun's, set. It's probably getting nighttime. One of you had the bright idea to throw a bonfire, on the beach, and you're all just kind of sitting in chairs, relaxing, cracking jokes, enjoying whatever drinks you fancy.
Sorry, is Casey still grilling? I was in paper mode.
No, this is probably in the evening. The sun's set. It's getting dark. The stars are coming out. You guys built a bonfire. Give you guys some more time for RP.
Mr. Krim, have you ever tried a marshmallow? He's not here, is he?
Nadan said they'd be right back. Yep, Krim as well.
He's not in the server right now. All right.
Uh-huh.
Well, Bidden, have you ever had a marshmallow?
Indeed, I have.
I'll have another.
I would love to. Thank you.
He'll
Been a while
pass.
since I've had one.
He'll pass Bidden the marshmallow, and also a cold beverage of whatever variety they're drinking, and this for good measure.
So where did you learn to grill like that, Commander?
Well, I grew up in a bit of a backwater frontier colony, to be frank. There wasn't really a whole lot to do except go out and explore nature. I got quite good at cooking over an open fire. It's always been my preferred way to eat.
Well, it's certainly among some of the best grilled food that I've ever had. We We did a bit of that on my home planet, but preferred method of preparing food was, well, the quickest we could manage typically. So
Well, a replicator gets you your required nutrients, but I am grateful that I grew up in such an adventurous environment. I think it really set me up with a lot of the skills that have helped me succeed in Starfleet.
any advice for an officer just starting off in their career?
Where do I begin? You know, well, not sure if you've read my record, but it wasn't so long ago I was in your shoes. It's hard to believe it's only been a few years since I stepped aboard the Expedition as a uh, security officer and mere lieutenant. Yeah, at that point I didn't have any career ambitions to ever move beyond that rank.
Well, and look at where you are now. I mean, serving on a ship like the Expedition, in the first officer role, under such an esteemed captain. That's, even if it's only been a few years, still a, well, very interesting journey.
Indeed, I can hardly believe it myself. I am certainly not the smartest officer in the fleet, or the most uh, decisive leader that's ever donned the uniform, but there's one thing that I think has helped. For one, coming from a background in security, I think we're well positioned for command roles due to the uh, fast pace and stressful nature of our work. The other thing I would say is to just, at all times, keep your morals in mind. Whatever your core values are, try your best to live by them. People will see that you're a honest and genuine person, and well, those relationships of trust are, in my opinion, the path to success. Your performance on board the expedition so far has been extremely positive. If you continue the work that you've been doing, I'm sure opportunities for advancement will present themselves.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I do have to admit, I certainly enjoy my work, and I've enjoyed my work before this assignment. I do want to see how far I can go, though.
Well, the only other piece of advice I would offer is, especially if you have advancement in mind, is to accept mentorship wherever possible. There's experienced officers everywhere in the fleet, and well, I can assure you that my door is always open if you have any questions or just want to bounce something off of me. It's part of one of the best things about moving up in rank is being able to pass down your skills and experience to newer officers who will move up to fill your place.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
And then he will grab the bag of marshmallows again and offer it to the two that just came back.
Sure. I love roasted marshmallows.
Hey, why not?
You had a marshmallow before, Mr. Crib?
I've not had a marshmallow. All I know about them is that they're a big ball of sugar.
That's about all you need. You caramelize them over the fire. Just careful not to get it too close to the flame or it'll catch fire. Like that. Whoops. Wagner quickly blows out her thoroughly charred marshmallow.
Paul Wagner. Some like the burnt ones, I guess.
I don't, but I don't want to waste it. So I'll eat it anyway. Just need to be more patient with my next one.
Waste not, want not.
Always go for the coals. The open flame won't do you any good when it comes to roasting.
If you go over the coal so you can get ash on it. That just feels gross. In your mouth, I mean.
A little carbonized material never hurt anyone. I like my food rustic. At least that's what I like to tell myself when I'm freezing on the side of a mountain.
Reminds me of my last attempt at pasta. I called it al dente.
All right, I think we'll head back to Trill. So for those on Trill, it is the next morning.
Yeah, after Israel gets dressed and informs her father that she has to go just take a trip over to the clinic. Yeah,
Garibaldi good. Is this would happen to be a new scene? Would it be?
Oh yeah.
Good. I'd like to give you a threat towards my well-informed talent to find out what is known uh, in the underground in the intelligence community about this particular whatever company it is that runs this clinic.
So how does your talent exactly work?
Look it up. Basically, I give you a threat. I get 2 questions
Okay.
that you have to answer. That you get the joy of answering honestly. It's one of the talents in the player's handbook.
Okay. Ask away. You said 2 of them?
Yeah, I just want to know. The first question is what is known about the company that runs this clinic uh, in the underground.
In the underground, not much comes back about it. It seems to be fairly reputable. You know, it's a clinic for storing storing and helping you know, reproductive needs and such.
And then variation on that um, through my contacts, find out if what if anything is known throughout the intelligence community about that company.
About what?
About that, what if anything is known in the intelligence community about that company.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't really come up on the radar.
All right.
You know, like I said, it's reputable. Seems as advertised, you know.
Are
You know,
there
it's a fertility clinic, you know.
are there any other complaints from other clients?
Nope. None that a intelligence community would potentially flag.
That's I think that's 2 questions. So it says, may I add 1 threat to ask the game ask 2 questions about the situation or location as if I'd spent momentum on the obtained information spent.
Now, do you have to roll
Nope.
for that?
I just have to give you a threat.
Like did there have to be a roll for you to obtain information? I guess is the question.
No. It's because I have to do it. And the reason I asked if this was a new scene is I can only do it at the beginning of the scene.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean a lot of the new talents I'm not up to speed of yet, and you don't see them often. But yeah, that's what you got.
It was worth a shot.
Basically that.
Huh. You pays your monies, you take your chance.
I got a boatload of threat, just so you guys know. But yeah, you guys you know, say goodbye to the kid, get dressed, ready, eat breakfast, whatever you do in the morning routines, and you head on over to the clinic.
Well, cuz, are you ready?
No, but let's go anyway. I did some asking around in my community, as it were. This place is completely off the radar, or at
Uh,
least they have a solid reputation. couldn't uncover any complaints by other customers. So
Well, let's hope it's not a dead end.
I'm more worried about the fact that we're going in blind. But we shall see.
And yeah, she walks in.
And there's a receptionist at the desk. Welcome to Hirion Clinic. How may I help you?
Yes, I have a 0900 appointment. Name is Azrael Prax.
Let's see. Azrael Prax. Just for GM stuff, did you actually make this appointment?
Yes, I did. It could be under my birth name, Azrael Tolinar.
Let's see. Nope, here it is. Azrael Prax. Yep, you made it 2 weeks ago, I see.
Yes, I did.
With Dr. Axon, yep. Okay, he should be waiting for you. It's just down the hall there, 5th door on the left.
Thank you.
And she goes back to receptionisting.
Yeah, and she walks very slowly towards the office.
How busy are these hallways?
Not very. There's just you in it. Oh, I should probably describe the building. It's a white building, large windows on the outside. Very sunny. It's very clean. Just bright white. A lot of natural light coming in.
How do the offices look? I mean, they are have opaque walls. Can you see into the offices? We're talking about like solid opaque doors or doors with windows into the offices. That's what
So like you'll pass like a conference room and you'll be able to see the entire conference room in there. But as you start moving past some of the patient rooms, it's private rooms, full walls, privacy doors, whatnot. And like I said, it's not too far. It's not that big of a clinic, but you eventually reach the door.
Are there names and titles on the plaques outside the doors?
Sure.
Would pass any doors that look like they're the doors of important people?
I mean, there'll be like a doctor here, nurse there. If I don't dwell on a fact, it's not important.
Oh, so don't happen to pass the door that's conveniently marked server room, do we?
What's that?
We don't happen to conveniently pass the door marked server room, do we?
Nope.
Just thought I'd ask.
Just so we don't play the 9,000 questions on like a door plaque.
All right, well, following Prax to the office. We'll go with our original plan for the moment.
Is the door open?
Yes.
excuse me, doctor?
Oh, come in, come in. You must be my 9 o'clock.
Yes.
He's fiddling with a bunch of pads and stuff on his desk. Please, have a seat. You must be Azrael Prax, right? And
Correct.
I wasn't expecting anyone else. Who is?
Um,
Hi, I'm Dr. Onyx. Who might you be?
Oh, Dr. Honest. Sure, bud. Stick in a hand. Pleasure to meet you. I'm her cousin Gary.
Oh,
Gary.
welcome. So please, what can I do for you today?
yes, I had my eggs in storage, and when I contacted several months ago, they appear to be missing, and I'm coming to inquire as to if they've been found yet, because apparently they've been misplaced. I'm deeply concerned by this.
Huh. Do you have your file number and security code? You could go ahead and search.
Yes.
Let me pull up your file here. You got that code?
Yeah, and she hands it over.
Let's see. And you said they were reported missing.
Yes.
Huh. It says here they should be in storage room 39 Alpha. Or storage slot 39 Alpha.
So they were found?
Showing here that they were never missing.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, that's what we have here. I mean, we could take a trip down there and we could verify in person, I suppose.
I would very much like that if you don't mind.
And he'll grab a key card from one of his desk drawers. Very good. If you'll follow me.
She gets up and starts to follow the doctor.
As Garibaldi gets up, he then kind of collapses onto one knee and gives a grunt of pain. And
Sir, are you all right?
appreciate it. I'll be fine. I served in the Battle of Sector 001 during the war. You mind if I just stay here and rest my knee while you take Azrael to check it out? Let me rest it for a minute.
But by all means, would you like something to drink?
That would be great. Thank you. He looks for a replicator.
And he taps a button on his desk, and he says the name of the receptionist. Can you get? Sorry, what was your name again?
Savan.
Can you get Mr. Savan a cold glass of water, please?
Thank you so much, Doc.
No problem, sir. Please, Miss Prax, if you'll follow me.
I'll try and get you a cane or something when we get back.
Just maybe if I just rest it for a minute.
Don't push yourself. Starts following the doctor.
And so you start following the doctor, and the hallway's a little bit more lively now. There's a few nurses walking, down the hallway, talking about, the storage temperatures and in one of the storage rooms. You pass by a janitor, who's sweeping the floors around outside of what looks to be the bathrooms. And he eventually leads you into one of the storage rooms, and he swipes his key card.
Quite busy for a fertility clinic.
Yes. We do have many embryos and fertilized eggs stored here. So we do need some staffing to keep everything running smoothly. And then he leads you in, and he's like, let's see, 39 alpha. Ups, down this way. And he leads you to one of the things. Here we are, 39 alpha.
Can I see them?
Of course. And he connects a small number pad to one of the outlets on there and says, please, if you'll enter your security code.
She enters her security code in.
And you hear a psh as the door unlocks. With like the smoke that, like when you open a fridge and it's like really cold against hot air, it has that mist that comes out. That cryo mist, so to speak. That comes out, and he opens the door for you. I'll type what you see.
Doctor, who else has access to this?
Only the doctors have access to the room itself, but to access the storage requires the security codes.
She pulls out her tricorder and starts scanning.
All right. As you're doing that, we'll head back to Garibaldi, who you said you were... What were you doing?
Well, I'm going to wait until... the receptionist brings me the water, and then I'm going to use the doctor's desk computer, assuming there is one, to try to crack into the clinic's computer server.
Okay, yeah, the water came and went fairly quickly. So yeah, you're pretty much by yourself in the room.
So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take an opportunity to do that. I posted the intelligent agent power. I don't know what else to call it. And he will have brought with him a Starfleet intelligence kind of computer cloning device. So he's going to try to crack the system. Look for files relevant to Prax's genetic material and their security records of any break-ins and records of anyone who has accessed her material, and just download it all to the device.
Okay, yeah, you're just downloading it to a tricorder, basically. Okay, first we got to hack the computer, and since you gave me all this wonderful threat, I was going to make it an easy roll, but I'm not now. Diff 5, Comp 2.
Okay. Let's see. Back so many episodes ago, I have looking for the appropriate. I've done this so many times that. Oh, this one I think is particularly appropriate. Back on Stardate 57062.8, Garibaldi called towards his value risk taken the pursuit of knowledge must be taken to actually dig into Prax's life. I like to call back to that value, to that use, to gain a determination to spend on that very same value.
How did you look into her life? I guess would be the question.
All right. That time, I was accessing computer files. Oh, wait a minute. No, that wasn't. That's it. I gained access files, and then I traced traced those messages back to their source, which is what my log reads. Not satisfied with just gaining access to Praxis file, and believing that risk taken in the pursuit of knowledge must be taken, I attempted to trace the message back to its source. Maybe that doesn't work.
It was an
Was
encrypted.
hacking-
He was decompiling an encrypted file, and then he looked into my character's past.
I kind of thought the connection to digging into Praxis past through that value.
Well, because the action here is actually hacking into the computer. I'll let Prax decide this one because Prax is ultimately your GM. So I don't want to say yes or no.
I would allow it because he did have to do a little bit of computer work on it, which involved decrypting heavily encrypted files. So it's fairly close to the same thing. That's what he's doing to a degree.
Okay. Yeah, if Prax okays it, then I'm fine with it.
All right, so I'm going to spend the determination I gained that way on that same value. Risk
What's
taking
the
knowledge
value again?
to do this. Let me make sure I set this so I don't forget. I am going to what was the I was so focused on the value. What was the attribute discipline again?
It'll be security,
Daring.
daring control.
I'll do daring and security. That's Garibaldi's thing. I'm going to diff 5. All right. I have the trait Codebreaker. Can I lower the difficulty with that trait?
What does Codebreaker do?
It's a hacking trait.
That's a trait. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep, that's fine.
So I do the diff 4, and then I'm going to spend. I'm going to spend the momentum and the necessary amount of threat to get 2 extra die. So that's 1 momentum to give you 4 threat.
Yep.
And then I have security system as a focus. If you won't take that, then I will use my joined talent to access the skills of Soros Quinix, who used to be a software engineer.
Security systems. Yeah, probably.
All right, that's all I got. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just made it.
Yep, there's the 5. All right, so you're able to hack into the device. You're able to bypass the security codes and whatnot. And you do notice that the security here is really good. It took you all the tricks you know to hack into his computer.
Yes, it did. All right, so I already told you the information I was looking for, and rather than because since Garibaldi doesn't know how long Prax can keep the doctor busy, he's just going to download everything to his nifty Starfleet intelligence device,
Okay.
and then erase any trace that he's been in the system.
Okay, so that sounds like 2 rolls. So you're not looking for anything; you're just downloading it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, that is going to be an engineering roll with controller daring. Since you gave me a threat, I'll make it a difficulty 3 and a complication 2.
Okay. Based on the nature of what I'm doing, will you take infiltration as a focus?
No.
Espionage?
If you could sell me on that.
I am acting as a spy, trying to download the attempted hidden information.
Yeah, it's
It's either that or, since you took security systems on the last roll, I'll use my join talent to pick up the computer's focus, which I assume would be a better fit.
yeah, that works better for me.
I'll do that. And you said diff 3, comp 2,
You know,
code
just to see if you set off their security systems, you know.
Sure. I've already used that threat that Prax has, that momentum that Prax has up.
You lowered the difficulty by 1 with your talent.
Oh yeah, you gained one.
So
That's right. You gained one last time.
Okay, good. Thanks. Thank you for reminding me. Because I'm going to spend that momentum and 2 threat to get 2 extra dice here. Trying to protect, trying to keep Prax out of trouble. 1, 2, 3.
And you can't fish on that one. So, yeah, your device works rather quickly, downloading the database from the computer, the files. You think you got all the relevant information you would need to look into later. And then you said you are trying to erase all trace that you did this.
Yep, I want to cover my tracks.
Okay, I'm going to let you set the difficulty on that. So yeah, so it's whatever difficulty you want to set it at using control or daring security.
Let's call it daring security. I want to try to set a difficulty of 4.
Okay.
I'm going to do, since I still have a determination. I still have my original determination. And I'd like to set this. I'd like to set this up so I can call back to it later. I still think this is still risk taking the pursuit of knowledge.
Not at this point.
It's either that or there are a few lines I will not cross to accomplish the mission.
I'll take that one.
All right, I'll spend that one, and then give you the 2 threat for the 3rd die. So I need 2 successes here. Computers for
before we do that, I'm going to keep the comp range at 2.
Okay.
And actually, since I got threat, it's going to be a 3. Comp 3.
This is where Garibaldi gets in trouble. All right. I've got still got the computer's talent from my.
Yeah, that or security systems. Since
so either way,
I'll over those.
Roll.
Come on, 4 comps. Almost. Well, you have.
I hit the button twice, so really.
Yeah, I'll take the first roll. So that's actually 6 successes. So you gain 2. There's a complication.
I will spend the 2 that I gained to quash.
Well, you do have bold technically.
Oh yeah, thank you. Because Prax doesn't like to remind me.
What are you talking about? I do remind you.
You do sometimes. There we go. My computer's a little slow. So
you gain 3 off of that.
Cool.
And yeah, you believe you have erased all trace of you hacking into the system. Meanwhile, back at Prax, so you pulled out your tricorder. What are you scanning for?
Potential genetic material of whoever opened this up last.
Okay.
So like,
you got your stuff, didn't you? Yeah.
Kitty, apparently.
Hot Mike.
Yep.
Sorry. Cat got her claws stuck in something.
So you're trying to find any genetic material trace.
Yeah, like sort of, like a genetic fingerprint, essentially. Well, yeah. In whatever form it could be, either skin, saliva, or a hair follicle that drifted inside.
Give me a reason or insight, science or medicine. I'm gonna give it a difficulty of 3.
Okay. I would like to use my joint talent to gain the appropriate focus.
Okay.
I'm going to use. Prepare not to spend my determination on this or not. Would you take from the mission The Race when I attempted to persuade the captain from destroying a star to let us get more information, and I'm trying to gain more information if I do the determination spend on a responsibility to the truth?
I don't think so.
Should have never.
That would involve convincing somebody.
That save milestone is never going to come into play. Just yeah.
I mean half of my milestones are never going to be used either.
No, I'm going to talk to you about that because you should never let me spend it on that when I did that on that reason. So, okay, then I will spend my determination on responsibility to the truth.
Yep, I'll take that
for this one. And I guess why not? Since I do have, I like to spend use my Starcross medal to double the focus range, which should put me at between 1 and 4.
Okay.
And then I am rolling flat.
Ooh.
So I get to choose. No, I'll spend them, or I'll spend the 2 momentum. Did 3. You said div 3, right?
Yeah. All right, you gain 1.
Nope, the 4 hits.
Yep. So you gain 2, 4, 5. So you gain 2. Yeah, I forgot you did that. I had to check really quick. What do you find?
Momentum to get the genetic sample of that hair.
I'll take it. I think that's what you're asking.
Doctor, do you keep records of all your employees?
Of course.
Do you have logs of the last time that this was opened?
This room or the storage?
This storage. Obviously,
And he heads off to one of the computers that are in the room. According to this, it hasn't been opened since you last opened it on Stardate, blah, 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 6 years ago. You know, whenever the last time you opened it was.
you're absolutely sure on that.
And he'll step aside to let you look at the screen. Unless they somehow falsified computer records, that's what this is showing.
Who has access to this room besides yourself and some of the other medical staff?
Just the 3 doctors that are here.
And you're absolutely sure no one else can open this. Because
With our security protocols, only people that have these key cards can, and there's only the 3 of us.
what about cleaning staff or
Given the nature and sensitivity of this, everything is done automatically here. That's probably not the right word, but through the use of robots, basically. Automatic cleaning systems.
then how can you explain that they're missing?
Miss Prax, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it.
Does he seem generally like confused? Like,
Insight command, I'll let you know. Just div 2.
take a threat.
Gimme, gimme, gimme. Yeah, he seems very much confused and, you know, like, how is this happening? Best you could tell.
Are you able to open up these containments on your own without access from the donor?
It requires all 3 doctors in order to do that.
Then I suggest you get all 3 doctors in here and make sure that every storage is in proper containment still.
And he agrees. A few minutes, about 10 minutes go by. And eventually all the doctors get there. Garibaldi, from your room, you notice you notice 2 people dressed like the doctor you're talking with heading towards the direction Prax and their doctor walked. And, they've been in there for about 30 minutes at this point. just let you know what's going on from your perspective. And yeah, about 10 minutes go by, and the two other doctors enter the room. And he explains to them what has happened and your request to check others.
Do they do that?
Yeah, they start doing it.
You know, it's a lot easier to talk to people when I don't have the mic muted. When Garibaldi saw the doctors go by, he would have limped after them.
How do you make this thing roll a certain number?
/R space 1D50.
Now that's too low.
Get a minimum number in mind. You can add a plus to it, and then the minimum number.
All right, so as they go through, and again, there's hundreds of storage units here. They notice that around 40 are missing. And it's at that point, they really start freaking out, all three of them, and they definitely want to get the authorities involved.
Doctors, I'm gonna have to ask you to do something that I don't think you're gonna like.
They're all listening intently.
You need to keep this as low key as possible. Whoever broke in and did this is very sophisticated. It may cause issues for you and your clients. I would suggest you inform your clients and then take proper measures to keep it as closed loop as possible.
Since they're confused by this is going to be a presence command. I'm making a diff 5.
Persuasion for a focus?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna roll 5 dice, so take 4 threat. And I only have the 1-star crossbow, right? Oh, I'm gonna use my citation of conspicuous gallantry.
What does that do?
For it's whenever I pay for whenever I pay for either modem spends of any kind by any threats, 1 challenge dice per point of threat added. So I gave you, yeah.
Yep.
You do not get
Use 1.
yeah. Fortunately, I'm not asking to prevent violence, so that's all I can do. I can re-roll one of those.
Ooh. Gain
6.
one out of it. They begrudgingly agree, but say they don't want to sit too long before informing the proper authorities about the break-ins.
She didn't say not to inform them, but to keep it in-house as much as possible. And then inform their clients, so that way they're,
Yeah. I think we're on the same page.
I would also like client list of the 40, if you don't mind. I know that's asking a lot.
That
But
is asking a lot.
It is true. Also asking to break a law. So
Yeah. I'm going to have to
Scratch
nix
that.
that one, I think.
yeah, I'll scratch that when I think about it.
Sorry, but we cannot give out any of our clients' information.
If I send you the details of some genetic material, will you be able to tell me if it's one of your clients? Not giving a name, but a simple yes or no.
You like high or low, Prax?
Feeling high.
We still feel that that would be a breach of our patient protocols.
Fair enough. Well, if you excuse me, I have other things to deal with. Thank you for your time, doctors.
As Prax, we would like to formally apologize to you for this breach in our security. Hopefully we can get to the bottom of it.
You will let me know if you find the culprit.
Of course.
And she walks back towards where Garibaldi's at.
Yep. The doctors do not escort you out. They pretty much stay in that room. But yeah, you make your way back to where Garibaldi is.
Azrael, you learn what you needed to learn? Did you find me a cane?
You can walk it off.
I'll rub a little dirt on it.
We should probably leave before the authorities get here.
Sounds like a good idea. But just I'll need to move slow at least until we get out the front door.
Here, I'll help you walk towards the door.
Thank you. You've always been my favorite cousin.
How sweet of you.
But yeah, we're gonna head out.
And you make it out of the room. A few nurses kind of wondering what's going on, why the doctors were called to the thing. You pass through the lobby, you see the receptionist, unsure of what's going on. You see the janitor mopping the lobby, and you make your way out the doors.
Does the janitor look at all surprised by the incident?
Give me an insight command. Difficulty 4.
Can Garibaldi assist?
I was about to ask that same question.
I will say yes.
Not that his command is anything spectacular. But the GM might be nice and take psychiatry as a focus.
I will, actually. But if you have a command of 1, it doesn't matter.
I have a command of 2.
All right, then it matters.
It's a difficulty 4, right?
Yes.
All right.
You know, threat and such.
I'll give you spend momentum, and I will spend 2 threat. Or I'll give you 2 threat.
Yep.
And why not? I'm going to roll 2 dice because I have a second one of those conspicuous gallantry medals. You only get 1.
Oh!
I'm re-rolling the... Oh, wait. I have something for this. The roll's successful, right? With 6? Or sorry, 5?
The 4, yeah, you gain no momentum.
I would like to spend my Legion of Honor medal to gain 2 bonus momentum to squash that complication.
Yeah.
All the medals tonight.
I know, this is like the first time where like all of the medals were used.
I have 3 more, but I don't think they're going to count.
Isn't one like a peace mission?
One's a peace mission, one is a direct one, and then the other one's a heroism thing. Yeah, that's if we get to combat.
Oh, okay. Medals for all situations. Oh yeah, complication is squashed. So what you two notice is like he is trying his very best to blend into his job, but he seems nervous.
Do you see that over there?
I noticed. One of these things ain't like the other.
Is there like a restroom nearby? Like in the lobby?
Not in the lobby, it's back down the hallway.
So what do you think? Whispering to Garibaldi.
Well, we could always wait for him to leave work and follow him, see where he goes. But if he's up to no good, he may do it before he leaves.
Considering that I learned that it takes 3 doctors to unlock one of the storage containers. Oh, sorry, storage units. Jenner's looking awful suspicious if he's acting that way.
Does that require them to use some sort of any kind of security access key?
Actually,
Or a key
yes.
card? I don't know. This knee's really hurting me. Maybe you should pull out a tricorder and scan. Maybe I have a key card stuck in my knee. Could we do that, GM? Key card be something we could pick up with a tricorder?
What are you trying to do?
Well, I think the Garibaldi's idea is to, under the guise of scanning poor Garibaldi's, I'm sorry, Gary Sevan, trick knee, under the guise of scanning that, actually scan the janitor to see if he's got a key card on him.
Actually, I have a sample of some genetic material. He's Trill, right?
Yeah.
I could scan against the genetic material I collected from my storage unit.
Oh, that's even better.
Brother, your knee seems to be cousin, your knee is getting worse. Here, let me see if I can't take a look at that for you. Here,
I think
have a seat.
I think you're right, Israel. Can you have a look at it?
What's the roll, GM?
All right. I'm going to make this a difficulty 3 because you're trying to do it from so far away. This is going to be an insight or reason. No, reason or control, actually. Reason or control. With either your science or medicine.
Does the earlier focus that
It does.
Okay. Diff 3, you said.
Be simple if you were close. But you're trying to be sneaky. You're from distance, trying for not to let him notice.
I have no reroll, so take I'm wondering if I get this with the 12 or not. So take 5 threat.
Ooh.
Spending the momentum.
Threat dumps.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Gain 2.
Oh, if I only had a second star cross, that would have been so worth it.
Goals for next time.
Looks like we found our culprits.
Well, your choice, Captain. We can try to take him quietly later, or I can play the Starfleet intelligence card now and just take him into custody.
See if we can't get him to help us carry you out to the transport.
Excellent idea.
Sir, excuse me.
Who? Me?
Yes, if you don't mind, like, my cousin, his knee's getting really bad and he can't put any pressure on it, and I need to get him to the transport. Do you think you can help me carry him over to the transport?
He kind of looks right. You should get one of the doctors. Yes, one of the doctors.
Oh, they're quite preoccupied with something else. Look, it will only take a minute of your time.
But
We're going straight to the hospital to get his knee looked at. We're taking the transporter. It won't take that long. Please.
Okay, okay. And he'll go over and grab the opposite shoulder.
Really appreciate this, young man.
I can help.
I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Yes. Where transport?
It's just right over here. It's not far.
And yeah, the three of you start heading that way.
Once I guess we get out of sight from people, the ruse is up, I suppose. Assuming Garibaldi can, handle him.
Yeah.
Let me know what you're doing.
But do we actually have a private transport?
Use the transporter.
Oh, the transport.
We're leading to like behind the alley, like behind the side of the building or something where there's no windows and nobody to see.
Leading back there and kind of stumble into him, push him into a wall, and then stick a Type 1 phaser under his chin.
What did I do?
You ever see what even a phaser, even on stun, does at close range to the human head?
Why you hurt me?
We have questions.
Janitor, I don't know.
You can drop the act, and I show her the scan. Or sorry, show him the scan that I took for the match. Can't get much closer to this.
You'll never stop him. And he tries to push you back, Garibaldi.
I will resist because I don't want to take the chance of actually killing him even on stun, a phaser at point blank range to the head can be quite deadly. I will try to prevent him from breaking away physically before I shoot him.
Daring, security opposed. And I have all this threat. I'm going to spend all of it.
Of course you are.
Keep giving me threat. I keep using threat.
All right. Well, I'm about to keep giving you threat because I'm going to spend the momentum and enough threat to get the 5 dice so I can compete with you here.
Alrighty. Ouch. Ouch.
Let me go. Since I have bold, might as well fish.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to his 3. You gain 2. So as he tries to push you, Garibaldi, you kind of use your strength and you push him right back into the wall, and he kind of hits his head on the back of the wall and is stunned a bit.
Okay, can I spend the 2 momentum on the advantage that I have him in an effective joint lock where he will not get away from me again?
You don't even have to do that. That could be what his complication is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's stunned because of hitting his head. He ain't going nowhere.
That was me being nice. Answer the lady's questions.
You're not getting anything out of me.
Since I've got him, I'm going to frisk him. What's he got on him? I'm going to do the cop frisk there.
Inside security diff 2.
Give you a threat for an extra die, so I can activate bold, because you need more threat.
Right? Gain a moment. He doesn't have much, but you do notice that there is a phase type weapon in one of his pockets.
Well, I will certainly confiscate that. Do I recognize it? By phase type, I'm assuming it's not Federation.
Yeah, it's it's still small, able to be concealed. It's Federation like, but not Federation. It's been modified.
Oh. And Garibaldi has a new toy. So Garibaldi will just pocket that. He'll investigate its origin later.
You obviously know. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Garibaldi just looks at Prax and says, always good to have a drop piece. Now, young man, answer the nice lady's questions. Oh, make me start removing fingers.
I know you Federation types, you Starfleet types.
Oh, you're sadly mistaken. I'm not Federation. I used to provide muscle for the Orion Syndicate.
Your threats are nothing to me. I don't fear you as I do him.
Oh, you could be more elaborate so we know who we're dealing with if you want. I'd like to know much more about your boss. Obviously, you're a low-level henchman working a janitor job. What, for extra credits?
As you start questioning him, do I have one? Off in the distance, you hear a disruptor fire. And that disruptor hits your friend square in the chest, disintegrating his body right in your arms, Garibaldi.
Everybody looks at Prax and says, I promise that wasn't me.
Reacting, going into taking cover and trying to pinpoint where the shot came from.
You have not the slightest idea where that shot came from. You don't see any sounds. You don't hear anything. It's almost as if that was a long distance disruptor blast.
On the plus side, Azrael, we're on the right track.
And more questions than answers.
Well, I can try to track down the origin of this weapon I took off of him. May not turn up anything, but it's worth a shot. And I downloaded all the Quinix files while you were busy.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Would you like a copy?
I suppose. Like, see, now, probably have a hard time doing the research on that myself, but I guess it doesn't hurt to have backups.
I think we need to get out of here.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably we should go that way, away from where that disruptor blast came from, in case our new friend decides to take one of us out.
Agreed.
And so you walk away from the clinic, correct?
Yes.
All right. We'll head back to Risa. Sorry, I ignored the Risa group. I had to get that done. So you guys are still sitting around the bonfire, enjoying the evening. I'll open it up for any final roleplay you guys wish to do.
Whoa, Casey, you are a master at the grill.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
That was
Perhaps
almost as
we'll have to do this on the holodeck sometime.
It was very
probably
good.
that was almost as good as grilled meerkat with dipped in yamak sauce.
Next
With
time, I'll
what?
make sure not to forget the yamek sauce.
Well, I guess I'll work on procuring the meerkats for next time then.
Right. Was there anything else you guys wanted to do or say? All right, we'll head back to Trill really quick. The two of you make it back to Prax's parents' house. If I could find where my forest went. Anything you two would like to do before we finish up here?
Carabella doesn't have anything other than what I typed to you in Discord. I'm curious if Prax is going to have that conversation with her parents about.
She's going to try to have that conversation with her mother.
Yep, wherever you want to be. So yeah, you find your mother outside on the patio, looking over a few notepads.
Do you have a minute, Mom?
What is it?
Look, I know we're probably don't see me as your daughter anymore, but I would at least like to try and talk to you.
What is there to talk about? First, you go off, become an entirely different person. One I do not even recognize anymore. And then you don't even have the decency to tell me or your father you had a child. Was I really that bad of a mother to you growing up?
No. But, like it or not, she is your granddaughter. I at least would like you and Father to be part of her life. And if that means mending whatever this rift is between us, then I need to make the effort to mend it. And obviously, I can't undo what I did, and nor would I want to.
How can we possibly try to mend the rift between us with you gallivanting all through the galaxy?
I managed to make it home today, and I will do my best to come back home once a year. At least. Maybe more if I can. I am captain of a starship after all.
We'll see. You have made this promise to us before.
You've also made it difficult, and every time I come home, you treat me like a complete stranger. So, what is the point of coming home when you're not welcome in the same house you grew up in? Well, I grew up in.
We're not going to have this argument again. And she just kind of shakes her head. You've changed, Ezreal. I don't know how to have a conversation with you. Everything I knew about you totally changed overnight. Your behavior, your mannerisms.
I'm still me.
Are you?
I may be joined, but I still have all the memories of when I was a little girl, even when I snuck on board Father's research vessel and spent 6 months in deep space with him. And you were furious when we finally got back, and how you lectured Father on the reckless decision that he made.
I told you the story of your grandpa, right?
Not entire details.
How he went off, joined Starfleet, gallivanted around the galaxy, got himself killed on one of those totally safe starships. Left me and your grandma to defend for ourselves.
And
I worry for your father every time he gets on a ship, and I worry for your safety every day you're out there. And none of this would have happened had you not joined with that damn thing. You know, as she points to your stomach.
if
And
any,
then to think you have my grandchild on that same starship too. I'm afraid to get to know who you are, who she could be. All I know that you won't be ripped from my life again.
I can't tell you what the future's going to hold, Mom. And I can't make promises that something may befall me or even you, Father. But all we have is time here and the now. Please. Don't shun me away. Don't shun your granddaughter away.
I just don't know. But we can try.
It's all I'm asking. You know, she laughs like you.
And she kind of smiles a little bit.
And she has grandmother's eyes. If you haven't noticed.
Just promise me you'll be safe.
I will.
If you're ever in a dangerous situation, please, just run.
I will do my best to claw, fight, and survive to get back home. I have an excellent crew and a first officer that looks after me. I'm in good hands, Mom. And if you don't believe me, maybe check the news every once in a while. I did negotiate a peace treaty between the Sinkethi and Cardassian Union.
Come, I want to show you something.
She follows.
She leads you to her office. And in a drawer behind her desk, she pulls out this book and hands it to you. And as you flip through the book, you notice that it has various clippings of all of your various achievements and accomplishments from the time that you were in Starfleet. Those that are known to the public, at least. You know, in a type of scrapbook.
You're gonna need a bigger book.
I might not understand what you do, Azrael. But don't think for a second I still don't care about you.
I have something to show you as well. And she leads her to her old room and pulls out the scrapbook she started for Kesri. Still more alike than what you realize.
And with tears streaming down her face, she just grabs you for a hug.
I think it's a good spot to end the episode. If you're gonna
I
end
think
it.
so too. Yep, I think so too. All the question is, do you hug back?
Yeah. She definitely hugs back and embraces her mother.
Alrighty. And I think with that, we'll call that the end of what happens on Risa.